Once you bring values into Matlab and store them in variables, or perhaps just type them in, you can perform several types of actions with them. The symbols you use to indicate those actions, called operators, let you do arithmetic calculations, compare values, and evaluate logical expressions. In this movie, I'll review the most commonly used Matlab operators and show you how to use them in a script. I'll start with a presentation and then move to the command window. We'll start with mathematical operators, which again let you do arithmetic calculations. Most of them are common, and you've likely seen them before. We have the plus sign for addition, the minus sign for subtraction, the asterisk for multiplication, and the forward slash for division. So for example, 7 divided by 14 is 0.5 or 1/2. An operator you might not have seen before is the divides into operator, and this is a backslash. So for example, 7 goes into 14 twice. So 7 forward slash 14 is 7 divided by 14, that's 1/2 or 0.5. However, 7 and then with a backslash 14, meaning 7 divides into 14, that would be equal to 2. So you probably won't use the backslash that much for divides into, but it's there if you need it. You can also use the minus sign for negation, such as minus 19, or if you have a calculation in parentheses, for example, minus, and then in parentheses 8 times 9 would give you minus 72. You'll often see the minus sign in front of an entire calculation, for example, as the first character, or you could also see it as regular subtraction, which indicates that the value will be negative anyway. And you can also use the caret for exponents. And as always, parentheses are used to group operations, and they override the normal order of operations within Matlab. So what is that normal order of operations? Well, in Matlab, it's what you've probably come to expect in other programs such as Excel. You start with exponentiation, that's the caret, and then you have the minus sign for negation, then multiplication or division and divides into, and then finally plus and minus, so addition and subtraction. If you're working in English or most other Western languages, then you go left to right if the calculations are at the same level. On the other hand, if you want to change the order of operations, then you can use parentheses. And I'll give you an example of that when I get into the command window in Matlab itself. Next are the comparison operators, which let you compare 2 or more values. 2 equal signs together checks for equality. You use a single equal sign to assign a value to a variable, but you need to use 2 equal signs to check to see whether 2 values are equal. So 1 equal sign for assignment, 2 equal signs to check for equality. And then you're probably familiar with the greater than sign, a right-pointing caret, and then less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and is not equal to or doesn't equal is a little bit different. In Matlab, it is a tilde followed by an equal sign. The tilde is not, so in this case it literally means not equal to. And finally we have the logical operators, so we have or, and, plus not. 2 vertical bars, or pipe symbols if you use a lot of Unix or Linux, is or. That means at least one condition is true. Only if everything is false does or return a false or 0 value. 2 ampersands is and. That means all conditions are true. And as I mentioned before, the tilde is the not sign. So that means that the condition is not true. All right, that's a lot of overview. Let me switch over to Matlab and show you how these work in practice.